Now next part is the transverse section of the spinal cord. So when we cut the spinal cord transversely, that is the histology of the spinal cord. You know the spinal cord is a tubular extension of the medulla oblongata. Yeah. And when we cut this spinal cord transversely, it shows the two grooves or the fissures, one towards the ventral side, another dorsal side, mid ventral side and the mid dorsal side. Here actually ventral side of the body, and here at the ventral side of the body it shows the deep groove running right from the top, that means right from the medulla oblongata up to the terminal part of the spinal cord. And such deep groove of the ventral side, actually it is a passage provided for the blood vessel which runs along the length of that spinal cord. So through this deep ventral fissure runs the blood vessel. While exactly mid dorsal side, there is a thin longitudinal, or the can be called as a septum, is a continuation of the fibrous connective tissue at that fissure, that is a dorsal fissure, which is superficial, so called as shallow, and the deep is nothing but the ventral fissure. So deep ventral fissure is the actual passage for the blood vessel, while dorsal fissure, which is superficial, through which runs the a thin fibrous connective tissue layer and dividing internally such spinal cord into the two halves, right and the left half. Now when we observe it, exactly at the central place of the spinal cord, you know the spinal cord is a tubular structure, hollow structure, and the fourth ventricle of the medulla oblongata continue as a central canal of the spinal cord. Fourth ventricle of the medulla oblongata, that is the metacy, continue as a central canal of the spinal cord, that is the canalis centralis. And this central canal, which is also called as the canalis centralis, it is internally lined by means of a ciliated epithelium, and such ciliated epithelial linings or that ciliated epithelial cells are called as the ependymal cells, or simply called as the ependyma. And such space of the medulla oblongata, that canal of the medulla oblongata, is filled up by means of again CSF, cerebrospinal fluid. And such ciliated cilia of the ependymal cells, by their beating, they maintain the flow of that CSF throughout the length of the medulla oblongata. Now surrounding to this central canal, you can observe the roughly S shape or the butterfly shape inner gray matter, and such inner gray matter develops the projections, paired projection towards the dorsal side, paired projection towards the ventral side, and slightly again the paired projections, slight projections towards the lateral side. And such paired projections are called as the horns, respective horns. Paired projection towards the dorsal side called as the dorsal horns, paired towards the ventral side, ventral horns, and lateral horns. You know the grey matter, when we call it as a grey matter, means it is a bunch of the cytons, cell bodies. So cytonic bunch can be seen here in these dorsal, ventral as well as the lateral horns. Now these paired dorsal horns, these actually continue and comes out of the spinal cord, right side, left side, both side. These horns, that is a paired dorsal horn, paired ventral horn, comes out as a respective roots of this spinal nerve. Dorsal horn comes out as a dorsal root, ventral horn comes out as a ventral root. And by meeting of these roots, there is a formation of a spinal nerve. We will see in the next video how such spinal nerve is formed. So such projections of the grey matter, which are nothing but the dorsal and the ventral projections, this comes out of the spinal cord as a respective roots of this spinal nerve. Now such roughly A shape central grey matter now gets surrounded by means of a white matter. Such white matter, it is no doubt formed by means of a medullated nerve fibrous. And in between these medullated nerve fibers, which are forming that ascending and the descending tracts, lengthwise arrangement of that medullated nerve fibers. And through these ascending and the descending tract, these dorsal and the ventral horns, nothing but the projections. And because of such projections, these tracts get divided into the columns, just like here. First column, then second column, then the third column, then the fourth column, again the fifth column, then the sixth column. Total how many? 6 columns. Paired columns exactly towards which side? Dorsal side. Paired columns towards the lateral side, and the paired columns towards the ventral side. And here these columns of the medullated nerve fibers are called as the funiculi bunch. It is the first column, then the second column, and these 2 columns towards the dorsal side called as the dorsal funiculi. Here, dorsal funiculi. And these dorsal funiculi, they forms the ascending tracts, ascending upward, carries the sensory impulses towards the brain, which are ultimately collected from there is a lower half portion of the body. That means from the trunk region, the sensory impulses are conducted towards the brain from these dorsal funiculi. Dorsal funiculi, dorsal columns. While the paired lateral columns here, again right and the left lateral, these paired columns, and the paired ventral columns. So in this way, paired lateral and the paired ventral columns, and these columns again called as the lateral funiculi and the ventral funiculi, and these 4 are acting as a motor funiculi, means having the motor nerve fibers conducted the motor impulses which are generated from the various parts of the brain, and they are carried downward and then supplied to the effector organs, either muscles or the glands of the trunk region. So in this way, it is about the internal structure, and no doubt, just like a brain, again the spinal cord get covered by means of 3 meninges. One is nothing but the innermost pia mater, middle is the arachnoid layer, and then the outermost is the dura mater, and with a subdural and the subarachnoid spaces. So in this way, this spinal cord in a transverse section, which is slightly flattened, with a central canal and the 2 grooves, exactly mid dorsal and the mid ventral groove. Mid dorsal groove is shallow, continue as a thin septum of the fibrous connective tissue, while the ventral groove is a deep groove, providing the passage for the blood vessel. Central canal, canalis centralis, which gets surrounded by means of a roughly S-shaped grey matter, and that deep grey matter develops the projections, like dorsal paired projection, ventral paired projection, and 2, that means paired lateral projection, which are called as the horns, dorsal horn, ventral horn, and the lateral horn. Out of which these dorsal and the ventral horns, they forms the respective roots of the spinal nerve. Then surrounding to this grey matter there is a white matter, and this white matter shows the ascending and the descending tracts of the medullated nerve fibers, which are called as the funiculi, and in between these columns develops these projections of the grey matter, because of which ultimately this column gets separated. Paired columns on the dorsal side, paired columns on the lateral side, and the paired columns on the ventral side. Out of which dorsal funiculi, these are ultimately sensory, carries the sensory impulses, forming that ascending tracts, carries the sensory impulses towards the brain, while the lateral and the ventral funiculi, these are the motor funiculi, forming or carries the descending, nothing but the motor impulses away from the brain towards the effector organs of the trunk region of the body. It is about the transverse section, nothing but the histology of spinal cord.